All right, what's up, guys? It's Devon back here to talk about the 2023 Valspar Championship. I've been dealing with my computer all night, deleting files to make enough room to record on both of my hard drives, and I finally have enough room to do it. So here we go. Everything's going to be in one video this week. We're going to talk Draftkings, and as we go down, who I've bet this week and who I'm liking to play this week. So so let's get into it. What I've got in the stat model here, custom stat model. I'm gonna go with the last 24 rounds. I'm also gonna select difficult scoring relative to par, and I'm going to select windy AF because it's supposed to be windy AF the whole weekend. So what I'm looking at is 25% on strokes gained approach, 10% on strokes gained around the green, 5% strokes gained putting, 10% on good drives, 10% on opportunities gained, 10% on fairways gained, 5% strokes gained par fives, 10% on strokes gained tee to green, 5% on strokes gained par fours, and 10% on par threes 200 to 225. So with this course, the rough is grown out. It's going to be almost 4 inches by the time we play. It's going to be important to play out of the fairway. It's going to be important to be able to get up and down for par around the green. It's going to be a total tee to green masterpiece from people to do well at this course. You're going to have to be good off the tee. You're going to have to be good on approach. Going to have to be good around the green, and hopefully a hot putter will shoot some people up. So that's why we're also looking at putting. It's going to be important to score on the par fives. I think scoring opportunities are going to be limited this week with the wind, with the rough, with it being a little bit longer of a par 71. So scoring on the par fives is going to be important, and really being good at the par threes that are 200 to 225 yards is also really important this week. So let's load this up and let's take a look at what we've got. I'm not going to sort it. We'll just talk about some of the standouts. Going to just do a quick video because I already recorded this like twice and got deleted. So just going to run through real quick. 10K range, not playing Sam Burns, not playing Matt Fitzpatrick. Sam Burns looks terrible right now. Matt Fitzpatrick has this problem with his neck that I believe is affecting the way he's playing. If it wasn't for the neck, I would probably like Matt Fitzpatrick because this seems like the course he would succeed on. And, difficult and, just grinding it out. I just don't like the way Justin Thomas is playing right now, so I'm staying away from him. If I'm going to play someone in the 10K range, it is going to be Jordan Spieth, which will bring me to my first bet of the week. It is Jordan Spieth, and we know how this went last time, I believe at Pebble Beach for me. Spieth did nothing, so that is awesome. Really looking forward to that. So I got Spieth at 12-1. Just kind of a fear of missing out kind of thing. Spieth is my first bet on the board this week at 12-1. And then moving down to the 9K range, I like a lot of these guys in this range. I really like Tommy Fleetwood. With Tommy Fleetwood, it's really, can he get the putter going? We can check real quick and look at what he's been doing. He's good in wind, good on difficult tracks, gainer on Bermuda, putting wise. But if you look at what he's done recently, kind of neutral with the putter. He's been gaining around the green. He's been gaining on approach in the last 5 starts. And then he's either a slight gainer or a slight loser off the tee. But really what it is if you look at the putting performances, so neutral putter at the Players, 27th place finish. Loses 5 stroke at the Arnold Palmer, 61st finish. Gains 3.4 with the putter. At Genesis, 20th finish. Slight loser putting, losing a little more than a stroke off the tee. Misses the cut at Phoenix. This is back in October, so this is a little far out, but still it is a good way to look at what we could see if he's hitting on all metrics. At CJ Cup, finished 4th. 4 strokes gained putting, 4 strokes gained around the green, almost 3 on approach, almost 1 off the tee, total 11.9 strokes gained. So if we can have this kind of a performance with Tommy where he is a slight gainer off the tee and can gain with his putter and just keep doing what he's doing on approach and around the green, Tommy Fleetwood's going to have a good week. So I really like Tommy Fleetwood. Justin Rose is another guy I like. Kind of the same thing with him as it is with Tommy Fleetwood. If we look at what he's done in the last 4 or 5 events, let's just go back to even the American Express since January. American Express 26th place finish. Loses almost 2 strokes putting. Loses almost a stroke on approach, but gains 2.3 off the tee. Gains slightly around the green. 18th place finish at Farmers. Putter comes back around. Gains 1.4. Slight gainer around the green. 2.4 strokes on approach. Slight loser off the tee. Gets an 18th place finish. Going into Pebble Beach 21. Slight loser off the tee. Gained 2 strokes on approach. Gained 2.6 strokes around the green. Gained 2 strokes with the putter. To Genesis. 1.5 strokes lost off the tee. Almost a stroke lost around the green. Slight gainer on approach. Slight gainer with the putter. Misses the cut. At Arnold Palmer. Loses almost 3 strokes off the tee. Gains almost 1 on approach. Loses 1.2 around the green. Slight loser with the putter. Misses the cut. Come to the players. 2.7 off the tee. Gaining. 4.3 on approach. 1.8 on around the green. Slight loser with the putter. So if he can be a gainer in these 3 categories again and be a neutral putter, I think Justin Rose is in for a great week, so I like him. Keegan Bradley off the missed cut. I mean, he has a great history here. And it seems with Keegan, it's like every other week for him right now. He's always not. He's not a good putter. He's good in the wind, good on difficult tracks. And if we look at what I'm saying about this, like every other week thing, going back to the start of this year in Hawaii, gets a 34th place finish at the Century, basically losing strokes everywhere except for off the tee. Misses the cut at Sony, losing strokes everywhere. At the Farmers, gains everywhere, gains 7 strokes with the putter, finishes 2nd. Phoenix finishes 20th, gains in all metrics. Misses the cut at Genesis, loses almost 4 strokes putting, slight loser off the tee, slight loser on approach, 1 stroke gain around the green. Go to Arnold Palmer, 10th place finish, gaining everywhere except for around the green, gained 2 strokes with the putter. That's huge. At the Players, losing everywhere but on approach, he gained 2 strokes on approach. So if you can get this week where he either gains in every metric or he gains in all of them but one, or even like gains off the tee on approach and around the green but has a slight negative with the putter, we're in for a good week. So, and then like I said, it's kind of like every other week for him. So like Century, 34th, miscut at Sony, 2nd at Farmers, 20th at Phoenix, misses the cut at Genesis, 10th at Arnold Palmer, misses the cut at Players. So it's kind of like every other event for him right now. So maybe this is the event. Maybe he comes back this week and gets a good finish. Not looking at Denny McCarthy. Adam Hadwin is someone I am extremely on, and it's going to probably be everybody's going to be on Adam Hadwin. He has won here at the Valspar. He has a great course history here. And really what his problem is recently, the big problem is the putter. I mean, he's in the last 3 events, he's lost a little over 2 strokes in each event putting. So if he can get this putter to come back around, we could be in good shape with Adam Hadwin, and I like him this week. Not on Brian Harmon at that price. Pass on Davis Riley. I looked at Justin Suh for a while, but I think he's going to be wildly overowned, and might have a comeback down to earth kind of performance. Wyndham Clark is someone I really like. For him, he hasn't missed a cut since, I believe it was October. Yeah, he hasn't missed a cut since October. Just kind of back and forth with the putter. His approach play before the Players, I mean, he was basically neutral at the Players, but I mean, at Arnold Palmer, gained almost 7 strokes. At Genesis, almost 4, 4.5 at Phoenix, 3.6 at Farmers. His approach play has been awesome. He's a bomber. He's kind of back and forth with gaining off the tee, but I mean, he has a history of just streaky gaining with the tee, off the tee. And his around the green play is actually pretty decent. So he's a guy that I'm really on this week. Moving down, I'm no McNeely, no Woodland. Brandon Wu is an interesting look. He's been playing really well recently. Same thing with Ben Griffin. Good on Taylor Moore. Aaron Rai with the tough conditions could be a look. I'm not looking at him. Pass on JT Poston and pass on KH Lee. Moving down in the 7K range, honestly, Victor Perez is interesting. We don't have a lot of data on him because he's a big DP World Tour guy. But he's interesting at 7,800. I'm not necessarily going there a lot, but definitely interesting. Jonathan Vegas kind of has a decent history here. Great ball striker. Just worried about him in the putting, honestly. And moving down, not really interested in a lot of these guys. Akshay is interesting at 7,500. Has been pumping out some good performances. Had a great performance at Honda in difficult conditions, and then he got the second place finish at Puerto Rico. So he's an interesting look. I'm actually going to start him right now because I do like Akshay. Pass on Will Gordon. Pass on Bo. Pearson Cootie is interesting. He's been playing pretty well on his last couple of starts on the PGA Tour. I mean, he made the cut at Honda, and nothing impressive, 63rd. But Arnold Palmer was really impressive. Gained almost 4 strokes putting, gained 1 around the green, gained 2.6 off the tee, and lost about 1 stroke on approach. But he's interesting. I might not be going there a lot, but I could see throwing him in some lineups. Ryan Gerard is interesting with the way he's been playing. We don't got a lot on him, but 4th place at the Honda, 11th place at Puerto Rico. Maybe he can keep it going here at Valspar, so I like him. Eric Cole has been interesting as well as someone that's just kind of come out of nowhere. 15th at Pebble Beach, 2nd at Honda. Missed a cut at Arnold Palmer, and then he came back and had a 27th place finish in a stacked field at the Players. So Eric Cole is interesting as well. Sam Ryder, interesting, not something I'm going all in on. Same thing with like Tyler Duncan. Fairway finder, not long. Can just kind of get it done. Kramer Hickok has a decent course history here. He's been playing well recently for a guy, back at the Genesis. But look at how many missed cuts he had, from Sanderson Farms to Phoenix. He missed every cut. And then at Genesis, he finishes 29th, Honda 14th, and he finishes 44th at the Players. So that's kind of interesting. If he can get the putter rolling, and he would be interesting. Trey Mullinax is interesting. He's got a decent course history. Bomber, missed a cut at the Players, 8th at Arnold Palmer. Nothing too impressive, but don't mind going to him. And anybody else in the 7K range that I like? Not really. Moving down to 6K range. So there's a few guys I like. Dylan Wu has been playing really good. You could see him having another good performance. He made the cut his last 4 events. 29th at Pebble Beach, 10th at Honda, which is interesting because you can see some similarities with this course. 48th at Puerto Rico and 35th at the Players. So Maybe ride him while he's hot. He's good in difficult conditions, not necessarily good in the wind. So take that with a grain of salt. Anybody else on here? Matt Wallace is interesting with his around the green play and his approach. If I remember right, nothing too. He hasn't been spectacular. Made the cut at the Honda, 29th place finish, but I mean, there's not a whole lot else there. So he's an interesting off the wall kind of play. Anybody else down here? I have Ryan Moore start, and for some reason he comes up number 1 in my model. Taking that with a grain of salt. Good in the wind, good in difficult conditions. Slight gainer on Bermuda greens. Miscut at Honda, miscut at Phoenix. Got a 7th place finish at Pebble Beach. His Valspar history is interesting. Back in 2015, 2016, 5th place, 3rd place finish, and then 2017, 18th place finish, and then missed a cut in 18, missed a cut in 19, and then in 2021 he had a 39th place finish. So he seems like he kind of has a grasp of this course. It just looks like maybe when his putter isn't on, that's where his problem is. I mean, in 18 it was also his approach play, but all these other times he's gained on approach, gained off the tee, hit and miss around the green, but when he's had these good finishes, he's gaining with the putter. So if he can get that going, it might not be a bad option. Anybody else down here? There is one more guy that I have down here that I like. Brent Grant. Good in difficult conditions. Terrible on Bermuda, but decent in windy conditions. His last 3 starts: Puerto Rico 40th place finish, Pebble Beach 20th, Farmers 25th. Has he played Valspar? I don't think he has. No, he hasn't. But as a dart throw at 6,300, I don't mind it, and I might be taking that risk on. So not really anything else I'm looking at down here. So Brent Grant is like the dart throw at the bottom I'll go to. The way he ranks out in my model shouldn't be taken in. I mean, it's only got 1 round, so but he's interesting. So that's what I got for DraftKings. Betting wise, what I've got is Jordan Spieth at 12-1. Justin Rose at 25-1, Tommy Fleetwood at 28-1, Adam Hadwin at 28-1, Justin Suh at 40-1, and then Kramer Hickok just kind of as a take $1 or $2 bet at 150-1. So that's what I got this week for betting. Haven't made any placement bets. One and done this week. I'm either going with I don't have any of the top 4. So I don't have Thomas, Spieth, Burns, or Fitzpatrick left available to me, and I don't have Keegan Bradley. I got him winning at the Zozo, so that was cool. But like these second tier guys like Fleetwood, Rose, Hadwin, Riley, Suh, Clark, Wu, Griffin. I still have all of these guys available to me. I think I'm going to probably end up, because I think Hadwin is going to be the most picked. And I'm kind of hoping to make a little bit more ground after last week was awesome with the Scotty Scheffler win. He was like my one last big guy I had up top. I had Rory the week before getting the 2nd place finish, and then Scotty this week getting the win. So I made a big jump up at the board. That's about a $6.5 million gain up the board for me. Before the week started, I was in 253rd place. I am now in 41st place, and I'm about a little less than 3 million behind first place. So Hadwin's going to be the popular pick. I mean, Fleetwood's going to be a popular pick as well, but I think it's either between Fleetwood or it's between Fleetwood, Hadwin, or Wyndham Clark for me, and I'm probably just going to go burn Fleetwood. And then the following week, interesting little thing, I was going to use Scotty at the match play, but I used him last week. And the guy I'm going to go ahead and pick for next week is Tyrrell Hatton. You can actually get him on DraftKings Sportsbook right now if you bet him right now, 40-1 to win match play. That number probably will come down, especially considering with the way things are, the way the official world golf ranking is. There's a couple of guys that are still ahead. I think Cam Smith is the only one that's in LIV that's still ahead of Tyrrell Hatton, which will bump him into the top 16, which will make him a 1 seed in the pools. So he'll be the top guy in his pod going into match play. Justin Thomas is also not. He already came out and said he's not playing. So Tyrrell Hatton is going to be a 1 seed in his pod. Tyrrell Hatton's got a great match play record. He is hot right now. I mean, he's coming off second place and a 4th place finish at the Players and at Arnold Palmer. So I went ahead and fired a 40-1 bet on Hatton to win, and he's probably going to be my one and done next week. And he will be in my DraftKings lineups as well. So just going to have to see how the pods and the bracket shakes up to really see. But I already fired the bet, so that's happening. And he's probably going to be my one and done pick because I don't really want to burn. I'm trying to save Morikawa, Zalatoris, Homa, guys like that, Sung Jae Im, Xander Schauffele. I'm saving those guys, so I'm probably going to fire Hatton there, and I'm probably going to fire Fleetwood, Hadwin, or Clark this week. So good luck, everybody. Hope that helped you out, and sorry this got out a little bit later. Computer problems. We'll see you back next week. We'll have 2 separate shows again next week for betting and DFS. The research show will come out on Sunday night. So see you then.